Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 8 Week 5, Day 5. So of course today and all this weekend, the main thing that we have going on is the Vold event weekend. Of course we get this about once every several weeks, though as of recently we've been getting it quite often, or at least seemingly anyways. Oh, is my dimensions off? No, it's correct. But anyways, of course farming in things like Explore, really good value right now. Due to the heightened chance of not only getting gnomes to appear, but also getting vault keys from those gnomes. On top of that, we're also going to be getting additional loot from the Valentine's Day thing that they have going on with the Battle Crashers. So we'll be getting a little bit extra souls alongside of it as well, so that's pretty nice. There is one slight unfortunate thing about this, and this will make the Dust Devil team not capable of actually doing enough damage, which is problematic when trying to farm for versus. However, it does not actually have any effect on doing Nomapalooza, so we are probably going to be prioritizing doing Nomapaloozas, that or the Phoenicia build. The Phoenicia build, of course, being going to a high-level Explorer, the highest that you can do with a Phoenicia consistently, and basically just killing it out as you normally would with a Phoenicia. Luckily with this, Imp of Love, while it does have a really high durability stat, would not have any effect in this situation when it ends up appearing here, as Phoenicia already has enough damage to end up dealing with it, so ends up working out pretty well. So this is definitely more of a week to run Rowan build or Phoenicia build compared to the Ironhawk team. The Ironhawk team is going to be kind of hard to use, so you can still do it for Nomapalooza if nothing else. But when you're doing verse farming, you probably this particular weekend, you will not be able to really get away with doing the quick kill for the normal verse gnomes. So do be mindful of that. It's like the battles that we're doing right here. You probably won't be able to get away with it. Even though we haven't seen a single one yet, Imp of Love is going to be getting in the way a decent amount. It's like one every 5 battles, I want to say, one every 3. We're actually going quite a while without seeing one right now. But we should see one any moment now. I'm trying to get one to appear, but it just keeps not. There it is. But that thing has higher durability when you're doing it on a lower level Explorer, which I can kind of just show it at real quick. So it will end up living, unfortunately. Where's a good place to show it? I guess go Center Mirage real quick. Do I even have that on Explorer 1 right now? I do not. It's on Explorer 8 from where we were messing around with something earlier. Whoops. Let me go bring that down to Explorer 1. Just want to see its stats here. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was 26 total durability. For some reason, very close to that. So if we take like a... where's my 20 damage build? Where is the 20 damage build? Am I blind? Where is it? It should be like right here. There it is. Gnome Grinder. So if we simply just click this, of course it will normally just kill in this location. However, oh no, it's 24 durability. However, it does not die to that. Oh wait, you know what? Its durability is based on the thing that it overlaps. Aha! Hold up. So it actually can have lower or higher durability. It just depends on the thing that it replaces. Interesting. So as you can see, yeah, it doesn't have enough damage. So even if we do the higher damage one, actually this would end up still doing the same amount of damage, wouldn't it? No, it does 25, never mind, what am I say? So in this situation, if it's epic or below, oh no, it's still 24, never mind. We can still kind of get away with this. It's not as bad. You just can't do the single auto one-shot build. You have to use the slightly slower double-shot build. But I don't really mind that too much. Because we'd already have to be doing this if we were doing, if we're going to be doing verse farming anyways. Or not verse farming, I mean Palooza farming. Because this is the team we'd still be using for Palooza. So yeah, that's not too bad. You just can't use the super ultra quick kill one. That's not too bad at all. Yeah, I think it's it can change depending on the rarity that it takes over. Oh, 24 or 26 depending on if its first tray activates. Okay, I was going to say, because I could have sworn it was 26. But yeah, if you were doing it on... actually, when would its first tray ever trigger then? Because I don't think it ends up getting on Explore 1. Because it wouldn't have an instance where its trait could trigger. But anyways, hello everyone. I didn't say hellos yet. Hope all of you have been having a wonderful start of the weekend. It's finally Friday. Hello Isabel, hello Mr., hello Gerudo, hello Gadget, hello Gimli, hello Mr., hello Michael, hello Peter, hello Tyrion, hello Isabel, hello Bill, hello Imperial, hello Logic Slayer, hello Michael, hello Sushi Ninja, hello everyone else, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought then. It's not that bad. I was farming a little bit earlier, but I was doing it with Phoenicia build. Because from what was mentioned earlier, it seemed like we wouldn't really be able to get away with it. But no, it's actually not that bad. You can still run this team. You just kind of have to run this team instead of the other quick kill one. So if you really like doing the one cast win one, you definitely cannot do that this weekend. However, you can still very easily get away with this one. If you want to do this for verse farming. And of course, we will be doing this for Paloozas. With that being said, let's actually go and get a Palooza rolling. As that is, of course, the main thing that we're going to be running. Oh, before we do, we actually have a pet I need active. This actually got active as we were talking at the beginning of the stream. Actually, I think it might have happened like right as the stream started. But let me go make sure I grab this. This is a pet that we need a lot more copies of. And then we'll go start running down some Paloozas, see what we get. Hopefully get a little bit towards the lucky side. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to chat about, these are generally pretty good streams for it because it's really easy to look at chat with how easy these cycles normally are for these kind of battles. Because you're not really ever going to lose these battles for the most part. It's more so just getting them down. So it's a lot easier to look at chat compared to normal. Even though I'll probably still miss some. Because I am so slow at reading. Let's see. Also, hello Nightmare. Welcome, welcome. Also, Isabel, I did end up finishing all the chocolates you sent, by the way, already. Like, the box is literally already empty. Not sure if you can see it that well. But it's, yeah, it's very empty. Other than the trash. It has been wiped. Also, it's Super Bowl weekend this weekend, isn't it? I have not been following sports, like, at all. Not like I normally do. But even more not so than normal. Because I'm probably gonna get something for it. I always like making a day out of it. Oh, also, that reminds me. The stream will probably be a bit earlier on that Sunday then. It'll likely be a bit earlier. Exactly when is questionable. I want to say 4? Because I believe they start at like, what, 6, 6:30, 7? So we'll probably do the stream around 4 to 5, I would assume. For Sunday, that is. Or maybe even a little bit earlier than that so we can actually get a bit of grind in. Well, I might start a bit closer to noon then, now that I think about it. Oh, the only thing I don't know yet is, oh, I didn't think about that. The construction people might be doing their thing this weekend. I don't think they are. But I actually do not know. Their schedule seems to be pretty sporadic. I need to double check with that. My mom might actually know. But even she doesn't know sometimes because their schedules is so weird. Because some days they say they'll come and then they don't come that day. And other days they do and then they don't. Let's see. Take that over. It's getting there though. Oh, what do we need? We'll take a red over for now. Get all the Phoenicianness going. It's the Rams versus the Bengals. I don't think I've ever heard of that word. The Bengals? I'm trying to think of what team that is. I'm not sure I've ever heard of it before. Also, we still need 1 billion copies of this thing. How new is this? It had to have existed for about a year now. How do we still miss 21 copies? That's a lot of copies. I haven't really been seeing that tentacle around then. Oh, they're also trying to sell the thing. Definitely not worth it. Imp of Love's actually in the drop table right now. You just get it from that. Oh, we got a bit of gems today. Should probably go get it. Obviously, we already got the daily gems through grinding. Let's see. I'm on a Phoenicia. Was I not already set to Phoenicia? Oh, because we were doing in the pet battle. I was like, wait, weren't we literally just doing Phoenicia? But, yeah, that was because it was pet. Doesn't count. Doesn't save it. Also, if you're wondering why those numbers on screen, that timer, of course, is for when we do... that's not what I wanted. Whoops. That timer, of course, is for when we go do the Vault event for the Palooza. Which we're actually going to go do as soon as we clear this out. I just want to get the pet out of the way. so I wouldn't be distracted with it. Especially since it was one we actually needed. If it wasn't one we needed, we wouldn't have touched it. But that is one we need 1 billion copies of. Still need 21 more. Yeah, I'm not rooting for any particular team for the Super Bowl. I watch for the food, the commercials, and the halftime show. But yeah, how was this season of sports anyways? Pretty normal, better than normal, below average. Because I don't follow like anything with it. Oh, we'll get that down. We'll take that last one. Tom Brady retired? Didn't he win the Super Bowl like 4 or 5 times now? Is it the most in history? Isn't that like one of the main things? Like more quarterback wins than anyone else in history? Or something like that. Also, that's like almost one of the only names you could name in football that I actually know. You could name like anyone else that like everyone should know and I probably won't know who they are. Though that is like the one football person who you could say where it's like, oh yeah, I know who that is. It's one of those rare instances where I actually know a celebrity. Because you could say like any like 95% or maybe even 98% of like the very obvious celebrity name, and I probably won't have a slightest clue who they are. That's one of the few I do know. 7 total wins across 2 teams. Gosh, that's a lot. Aaron Rodgers, never heard of it. Is that even a football name? That sounds more like an actor. He has more Super Bowl wins than any team has total. Oh gosh, that's a lot. Also, a poll real quick. Is Legion Booster for 300? Then again, it's gonna vary a lot. What I was gonna ask is, never mind. It's gonna vary a lot depending on what point you are within the game. I was gonna say, is Legion Booster worth getting for 300 gems? The answer is a very obvious yes, but also no. Like if you're really late in the game where we are, it's pretty much like an automatic no. Earlier on in the game, it's pretty much an automatic yes. I have been getting it here and there because when I see it for that cheap, it's like, I might as well. It's like some very cheap event keys. I might still get it. Because if you take out the value, it's 180 gem value for the gem keys, then another 20 gem value for the glory keys. So it's basically like you're buying event keys for 5 gems each. If you could infinitely buy event keys for 5 gems each, would you? I feel like the answer is yes. Okay, so well, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I have actually been getting it, only if I see it on a super sale like that. If I see it for like the normal 400, I don't get it. But if I see it for 300, I do. It's pretty much like a no-brainer auto buy even for 400 when you're progressing through the game. Though, hey, I need that verse. Oh, maybe we should go use that Palooza now. But later in the game, it's not as obvious of an auto buy. I just realized I'm running Phoenicia team on this. What am I doing? Whoops. Well, good thing we found verse 2. But anyways, let's go change our team to let's go change our team over to the Dust Devil one. So we are on Explore 1 there. So let me just, you know what? We can just do it from where we just were. So let me go grab the... what do I even need here? This one. I want to do 1 battle just so it saves the team. And then we'll be good to go. Now we can start the timer for the Palooza. And the reason we do that is mostly to... Okay, so he did get the trait trigger that time. That's problematic. So what made him trigger the trait that time? So this time he had it. But then other times he didn't have it. And whenever he does have it, that is extremely problematic because you don't have enough damage to kill. Which is extremely bad. Anyways, let's go right to Palooza. Now that the team is nice and saved. Let's see. Soulforge. Palooza. We're probably going to run several Paloozas a stream as well. Mostly because those annoying Imp of Loves are in the way. Also, we got 48 now after the thing we just got. So yeah, let's go start running them. Start the timer so we know when to stop. And we'll be good to go. And luckily, there's no Imp of Love when doing a Palooza. So we won't have to worry about these things getting in the way, as the 4 gnomes have priority over it. So it'll never actually appear in a single one of these battles. Which is very convenient, because we definitely do not want that happening. So as far as actually running the Paloozas, it should be the same thing as normal. This weekend is a little bit different when it comes to running for versus. But if you have a reserve of Paloozas, like I always say to keep, this weekend is actually a good weekend to be using those. Not exactly for the reason I normally say to save them. However, this weekend, if you have been saving them, is the ideal weekend to be using your reserve of Nomapaloozas. Because verse farming is actually a little bit less efficient this week, assuming you don't run Phoenicia or Rowan build. If you run the normal Ironhawk build, it is less efficient to farm versus this week for sure. Because they can actually survive a 25 damage hit. And easily a 20 damage hit. In every location now. Oh, so is that a little bit of extra lag? We don't want to see that. That's not good. We don't want any lag. Pretty sure that's been an on and off thing all day, though. Because that's not me lagging, right? I am almost guarantee it is the game. From an above average amount of people trying to grind those gnomes down. Hopefully they save some for us. And the main thing we're really looking for is more Vault Keys and especially Epic Vault Keys. Am I tracking keys? No. I don't think we will be this weekend. I think I will for the next Vault event, though. For this particular one, I probably won't be. And by probably won't be, I mean I won't be. I do find it more relaxing when we don't track it. But then we also don't know the exact amount of everything we got. Now you can always just track the starting number and just figure it out at the end. I kind of like not knowing, though. I almost feel like you go quicker, not just because you have to keep recording or checking the data, but even just in general, I feel like we go quicker when we aren't actually tracking. Even if you take out the time of actually tracking, just the mindset of thinking about the loot that you're getting, I feel like makes it go slightly slower. Speaking of which, double Vault Key. 2 times Dust Devil or 2 times Ironhawk can end up doing it. That is true. The only problem with that is that it's still slower than normal. But that would do, what, 30 damage? Yeah, 30 damage. So that would work, but you're giving the enemy an entire turn every single time. Which is not ideal. Like, if you have the verses, it's, or, you know, if you have the Paloozas, you should be, it's better to farm the, or it's better to throw down the Palooza than it is to farm the verses this weekend, for sure. I said even check the forum. Has there been a lot of complaints about the, verse gnome? I mean, not the verse gnome, about the Imp of Love? I would assume so. I would go check real quick, however, we can't during a Palooza. Yeah, I still don't get how the trait is random. Like, shouldn't it always have it or always not have it? It's kind of weird that it occasionally has it. It's really annoying that it can, because 26 durability survives a 25 hit. You've used 20 Nomapaloozas since reset. Oh gosh. That's quite a bit. Because at most you can run 4 per hour. So that means you've ran for at least 5 or 6 hours. We're definitely not going that long tonight. Though we will be going a little bit longer tonight. Hopefully for about a few hours. I normally like to try to get in about 10 hours of grind on these events. And I think the game plan is, Of course, we'll still be doing the normal Gems of War stream every single day this weekend. Then during the day tomorrow, we'll do Pokemon again. And then during the day on Sunday, we won't have a nightly stream, but we'll do a midday Gems of War stream to do a bunch of vault grinding to end out with. And then we'll have the Super Bowl. But I think we might make it a weekly thing now, trying to grind for the Pokemon game. Shiny Saturdays. There we go, shiny hunting off stream. I just need to make a really good thumbnail that's ultra clickbaity for it. It's amazing how much more attraction like a good thumbnail gets for something like that compared to an ultra basic one. You ordered RCs today. It won't get here until Sunday or Monday. Oh no. I'm going to be starting to cover some guides soon. For Gems of War, I still want to go cover the teams, the updated teams for Vault events. And for that game, I have a few that I want to cover, some of which I haven't seen any YouTube videos on. So hopefully it'll get some traction. We should do another Mario Party stream soon. We could at some point. Ooh, a curse no. Also, Mario Kart getting a bunch of new tracks. The only problem with the Mario Kart update, though, is it's going to be so spread out. I'm not sure if we're going to do a stream for it every single time it gets an update. Because if they're only going to add 4 tracks, but have it like each one like 2 months from each other for every set of 4 tracks, it's going to be like so separated. But yeah, I'm actually surprised. The most recent Mario Party game, I actually have not played pretty much at all off stream. Like 100% of it has actually been on stream. Because normally, a Mario Party game doesn't have proper online multiplayer. So this has been like the first time where like the entirety of a Mario Party has all been on stream. Because it actually has a proper multiplayer system. Oddly enough, I feel like I have the least amount of playtime in this Mario Party compared to any other. Though inversely, the Pokemon game that just came out recently, I probably have the most amount of playtime in relative to time it has been out. Because, gosh, that game is addicting. Though the number is a little bit biased because it has a lot of AFK. Because as I'm doing some other things throughout the day, I kind of just leave it running. I always like games that have an AFK farming method, and it actually does, which is really nice. It has it through those distortion rifts, something we don't really do on stream much because you normally have to wait for them way too long, so it's not really viable to do them on stream. But off stream, they are a really good AFK method. That's one thing that RuneScape did really well. I wish more games would implement it in a way that's actually fun. RuneScape's probably like the most relevant one that has ever done it like really, really well. But the one in the new Pokemon game's not bad. It's not the most ideal though either. It's basically set up in a way where you're like AFK for like 30 minutes and then play for 5 minutes. Oh, what do we need here? Take that for the extra turn there. Oh, wait, what are we doing? We have the auto win. I'm like, I see mana. And it's like, no, I don't need that mana. That's the only problem with like immediately trying to find the synergies on the board. The second I see them, regardless of if I need them, I'm like, ooh, I need that. Just because I see the value. I was like, hello, Arjonian. So hello, Roman. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's been well. We're taking RC storyline slow as you've been enjoying farming up resources too much. Yeah, I took it pretty slow as well. Like, I was watching some other playthroughs and I was like seeing, I didn't even realize there's actually like a star requirement to get through the storyline. I know I kept mentioning it during the storyline, but we already had so many stars beforehand every single time that I didn't actually realize it was a thing. Like, some people were saying, like, this game is way too grindy because you keep having to do all these tasks, and it's like, wait, you actually have to do these tasks? Like, I already did so many preemptively. It's like, oh, I already had the star level every single time. Also finding it funny because there's, some that say, like, the shiny charm in that game's too hard to get. Yet I have, like, double the amount, or not double, but almost double the amount of points you even need to get it. And it's like, oh, there we go. I almost feel like making a guide on it, too. I haven't seen any guides on perfect decks yet. Because most of them are on how to do, shiny charm farming. Which is only, like, half the deck's completion. Maybe even less than half. Like, it's pretty lenient. Like, you pretty much only have to 40% the game to 100% the game. Which is extremely lenient. I just realized I'm not using controller. I'm like, wait, my other hand's not doing anything. It's just sitting there on my lap. Sometimes it's better not to do the controller method, though. It's slightly slower. But it's more rhythmic doing it all with mouse or touchscreen. But now that I think about it, how is a Nomapalooza on touchscreen? Because now that oh gosh, I keep taking the thing off the board. Because now that I think about it, I have actually never played a single Nomapalooza on a phone. Whoa! He's got a double epic Volky. Almost thought that was a triple for a second. That's a huge drop. Now that would be something amazing to see, a 4 times epic Volky. That really caught me off guard, the double there, though. I thought it was a triple, which is why the reaction for a second, but no, it was a double. Which is still really good. My eyes thought it was a triple, though. Yeah, it is towards the laggier side. It isn't just me, right? Pretty sure it's just the entirety of the game. Because I definitely see lag right now, obviously. It's not too bad, but any amount of lag during a Palooza is not ideal. The only problem with touchscreen is my thumbs or all my fingers are kind of like big. I have big feet and big hands. So not ideal. Especially since I don't have like a tablet or anything equivalent. Well, other than a Switch, but unfortunately the Switch version doesn't have cross-platform. Or cross-save or cross-anything. I don't know, I get moments when I have lag, but then I have moments when there's no lag. It's weird, it keeps alternating between the two. Like right there's a little lag. But then we had a few battles prior to it that had no lag. Oh yeah, my game definitely lags more on my phone. Though that's mostly because I have a pretty low quality phone relative to a high quality laptop. But pretty much everything lags on my phone. Like, there's not a single thing that doesn't. But it's mostly because my phone's not that good. At least relative to how decent the PC is. Okay, we should probably hold on this one. Just for a moment. Just in case the timer was slightly off. Okay, and there we go. It's mostly just to make sure we get the full amount of loot. And there goes the normal audio, the full amount of loot, and there we go. Alright, well, one down. Many to go. But yeah, I still can't believe we got a double epic vault key. Great to see. How many pity we're up to already? 9? Nice. I always like how the first one just gives you like 8 to 10 pity, depending on how far you end up getting in it. Pretty nice. Let's see. The mobile code is a complete mess. I do not doubt that. Let's see. Each loading bar. Also, one thing I noticed on phone too, I'm not sure if it's just because I have a laggier phone or what, but I noticed on PC, like all the images are already like preloaded and ready to go. Like when I go over here, it's like, oh, I can see these troops immediately. Oh, I can see these troops immediately. I notice when I do this on phone, like even when I'm clicking like this, like I'll click down like twice and I'll be sitting here for like 5 to 10 seconds for them to load in because there's just a bunch of empty squares waiting to load in. Is that just my phone being slow, or is that just how all the phone versions are? Or if you click like a few times and then look, they're just all blank images until you wait like 5 to 10 seconds. I'm not sure if that's just my phone being slow or that's just how the actual game is. Or how it loads in. Because that's what happens. I'll click a few times. It's like, oh, I guess I gotta wait a little while. But I very rarely play this on my phone. Anyways, let's go do another one. Hello, Bernice. So hello, Defiant. Welcome, welcome. So it looks like all the rare troops will have the first trait activated in Explore 1. So if Imp replaces... Oh, that makes sense. I was wondering because I did notice that one time when it triggered, it was off of rare. So that would indeed be the case then. Okay, that makes sense. Because the one time it did trigger for us, when we were messing with it a little bit earlier, it was off of a rare. So that seems to be exactly what's happening. Well, thank you for that. But yeah, that's exactly what's happening then, what Bernice said. Oh, we already took this, right? Yeah, we did. I just want to double check because it's one we need. I wish we could take it again. Wish we could take it like 21 times. Or at least like 15, because that would be enough to like farm it up. Gosh, you'd have to take this so many times. I wish there was a better way to target down pets. There really isn't in the current state of the game. Anyways, let's go run another Palooza. Because the stream, as well as most of the streams this weekend, is pretty much just going to be us running Palooza the entire time. Mostly because of the Imp of Love kind of being in the way of verse farming. Which is why I said to keep a reserve of Paloozas. You never know why you might need it. If maybe you go on vacation for a little bit and you just need to spam a bunch. Or something like this weekend, where who could have really foreseen that we'd have a Battle Crasher that would survive the hit. So you kind of need to just do Palooza instead, because you don't have to deal with the Imp of Love. Which is kind of convenient. If you're running Phoenicia team or a Wayne team, it doesn't matter as much. But if you... Oh gosh, that guy. He replaced the Mythic. So I was going to say, you normally wouldn't survive, even though you do have above average survival, but if you replace a Mythic, you will. That you will. Probably should have cleared that out before we even got into the battle. I saw that we were close to it. I probably should have done that before the verse, but oh well. Only wastes like 10 to 15 seconds. Is it my phone? Okay. Yeah, my phone's just that slow. Hey, another epic Valky. Great to see. I'm not sure if I would ever bother getting a high quality phone though. I feel like I almost never use it. I've never been a big phone person. Even my current plan that is only around I think like 30 a month, I still feel like I'm overpaying for. It's because I so very rarely use it. And while about $1 a day doesn't sound that much, if you add it up, it's several hundred per year. Something I barely use. It adds up. Because I've gone most of my life without a phone. And now the last few years I have had one. I don't know, I don't use it that much. Like my phone usage hasn't really gone up too much. And the little bit that I do on it, like 90% of it's gaming here and there. That and occasionally alarm clock. Alternative alarm clock. That's why I keep taking the board. It is such a habit. Whenever I see a bunch of good stuff on the board, it's like, oh, I must take it. Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't say Gems of War is unplayable on my phone, but I don't feel like you'd be able to get away with like a Palooza on it, that's for sure. If I was to use it for anything, it's mostly tribute claiming and maybe setting up some teams for a video. If I kind of just want to do it while laying in bed. Give me your phone number, you'll call me. I don't even know what my phone number is off the top of my head. That's the other problem with having a phone. Whenever I have like a landline in the past, it's like, oh, I would always know what my number is. But I feel like every cell phone number I have ever had, I can never on earth remember what on earth my number is. I'm not sure why, what the difference is. Because in theory, they're the same difference. Like, you're still remembering the same, you know, like, number sequence kind of thing. But for whatever reason, I can never remember any of my cell phone numbers I've ever had. But I can always remember my landline numbers. Which makes no logical sense, because they're basically the same thing. Quite literally. But, I don't know, there's just something about it. Because since your phone kind of auto-saves it, it's like, oh, I don't need to remember this. But then when you have a landline and, you know, there's not like an auto-save system in such a same sense, it's like, oh, I actually have to remember this now. So your brain's like, oh, it actually remembers it. But when your phone kind of does it slightly for you, it's like, oh, I'm not going to bother remembering it. The phone will do it for me. I know I had a lot of lag issues with Puzzle Quest 3 on my phone. Also, I still haven't played that game in a couple weeks now. I've kind of done like a slight quit, though I will be coming back around its launch time. Probably to cover it very shortly. Not sure if I'll be sticking with it, though. I like its potential, I just don't feel like it'll meet its full potential until like a year or two from now. It's just so far from where the mark needs to be. Even though the premise of it's pretty solid. I was gotten so tired of doing it on a daily basis. It's not like Gems of War's daily system where I actually like thoroughly enjoy doing it every single day. The one for Puzzle Quest 3 is just so tedious in its current state. And there's no like end game to the game, so you're not even like grinding for anything. Currently. Like, you always have stuff to grind for in Gems of War. There's never nothing... There's never something to not grind for. If you really wanted to go for it. Who still has a landline? My dad and grandma still have a rotary phone. Like one of those ones with those circular dials. I know, because I was there for the holidays in December, and they still have one. And I have used it multiple times before. I didn't use it while I was there, though, because I had my own phone on me. My dad has a cell phone, though. My grandma actually does still use that as her primary phone. Which is pretty funny. Because that's like 2 steps back. Maybe even 3, depending on how you look at it. Like, that's not even, like, landline. Well, it is landline, but, you know, that's like a step back from landline. I'm actually surprised that phone even still functions. Because it has to be, like, what, 20, 30 years old? Like, I'm pretty sure they had it when they moved there, and they moved there, like, I'm pretty sure, like, 3 decades ago. Which means the phone is at minimum like 30 years old, if not more. But I feel the same way about cable. I don't understand why anyone has cable these days. Which is kind of funny because my mom actually has it. I don't really get the point, though. I don't really get the point of most subscription services like that. But especially cable. Cable makes, like, the least amount of sense. But even just all of them, I don't really understand too much. But cable is, like, the extreme outlier that just doesn't make too much sense. It's just so much money for what it is. Oh yes, Garuda, that's what the issue is. Both commons and rares trigger the Imp of Love trait. Ultra rare and above do not. So what was mentioned by Bernice, I believe it was earlier, is still correct. It's just it's common and rares, it's not just rares. It's anything rare and below. Ultra rare and above on Explore 1 do not trigger it, seemingly. Because they don't have their first trait. But commons and rares do. Which quite ironically means the lowest two levels, the lowest two rarities are actually the most durable. For Imp of Love this week. Or this weekend, I should say. Which makes absolutely no sense, but is the way it currently is. Common and rare Imp of Love have the most durability in Explore 1. This weekend. Well, technically always, but obviously it's only taking place this weekend. But yeah, that's so annoying, though, overall. That's why we're mostly going to be running Paloozas, which is good, because we've had a pretty big reserve lately. And we have enough to run this entire weekend with only Palooza and still not run out. So I'm perfectly happy with that. You have cable bundled with internet. That's what we currently have right now. Though if it was up to me, we would only have internet. But yeah, cable is a lot. Like, it's almost effectively like a few hours per day. And I know I personally don't use it. And there are multiple days in a row where she, like, barely uses it. And there's only, like, a few channels she really watches. I'm pretty sure there's subscription services that kind of have it in. Because she mostly watches cooking channels. The one she watches the absolute most, I'm pretty sure, is, gosh, why can I not remember what it's called? That one construction house not website, but that one construction house channel. What's that called in America? I'm pretty sure, like, anyone in America knows what I'm saying. I can't remember what it's called. But the one that's mostly about, like, renovating houses and things like that. She's always been really fascinated with that. Because that was one thing my dad did a lot, and still kind of does. Which almost felt like one of the reasons she married him in the first place. Yeah, HDTV, that's the one. Yeah, she's always really fascinating with, like, fixing up houses. And my dad did it quite a bit as a living. He hasn't been doing it much since COVID, though. And also because, realistically, he really doesn't need to. The rentals he already has make so much that, he really doesn't need to do a single other one. He pretty much just does them as hobby projects these days. And another epic vault key. The market's still just so hard to try to get a house, though. There's just so much competition for every single one. Like, I'm so glad I personally won't need to go and try to look for a house. It just seems like an absolute nightmare to try to do. At least in the current market anyways. I can see it maybe settling down in like 5 to 10 years when I might actually be wanting to look for one. But right now it just seems way too unrealistic. Yeah, even when I used to watch cable as a kid, like there was never more than a few channels I would watch. It was like Nickelodeon, obviously Cartoon Network, and like I would watch HGTV occasionally too. Oh, and the Animal Channel. Which one was that? It had a special name, but I can't remember. It wasn't called the History Channel or anything like that prior. There was like Animal Network, I think it was called. Oh, I loved that channel when I was a kid. Like those three. Those three channels were like all I watched. Because I was too young to care about the news or anything. Like these days it would probably be like any channel that had random sports. Because I actually do like just in the background kind of watching tennis and stuff. It's kind of relaxing. Like tennis or I'd say mostly tennis. I don't know. If I was to like watch any sport in the background, it'd be tennis. But it'd be that, like some of the news channels, stuff like that. I've been trying to stay away from the news lately, though. It just seems so bleak. It's a midterm election, too. Or one of those years. Oh, please let me get into this battle. No, let me get into battle. No, I think I did it too late. Nah, I did do it too late. I was like mashing through the screen. We were like a second too late. Oh, sadness. Unfortunate. Not too big a deal though. Anyways, let's run it back. Let's go do another. It's gonna go straight back into another. Even if I do feel like I want to do like 30 minutes in a row, I do end up doing them 15 minutes at a time so you can get the extra loot off the final one. However, I accidentally, oops, I did 2 mistakes there. One is I forgot to reset the timer. Okay. Let me go reset that. Oop. We have to end it 30 seconds earlier than whatever it says. So 14:30 is the actual end mark. Oh, epic Volkey immediately, nice. But yeah, normally you want to do them one at a time so you can get that extra loot for the final one. Unfortunately, in the most recent set we just did, we actually didn't get that extra loot. We were trying to squeeze in one more battle, but I did it too slowly. Because we were right at the beginning of a brand new full cycle. Because we had to reset the difficulty and everything. If it was one of the different battles, we would have made it in time. I didn't realize it was the one that had to reset everything, which was unfortunate. Oh, you prefer a landline for talking on it? I don't know. I've always hated talking on phones. There's something about it just never felt that good. Though in all fairness, I don't like communicating with people in general. Especially days and weeks when I just feel like a bit more depressed. It's like, yeah, I just like so antisocial. I'm pretty much like always like that. But it like even to a heightened degree more than normal. Where I don't even want to like interact with like anything to any degree. Let's see. Take this one over. Which is kind of funny because we always do this stream like every single day. It's a Scorpio thing, is it? Because I am a Scorpio. I've always pretty much been like that. Like, as minimal human interaction as possible is ideal. And only really seek it out when I feel like I need it. But otherwise, it's like, nope, I will go in complete isolation from everything. I just prefer it that way. It's more of just an introvert thing. Yeah, I always find it funny too because I do have a couple online friends, and some of them I don't talk to for like months upon months. Like it might be like a year or two between talking to each other, and then we'll just start chatting one day, and it's like, oh yeah, we're still like best friends. Because I have several that are like that, or we might not chat for like anywhere from like 3 to 18 months or so, and then we just chat as if it's been like a day since we last chatted. Are you late into the stream? Also, hello, Mr. Z. Have we vented about the Imp of Love thing? Oh yeah, has the forum exploded on that? I still didn't check that yet. I meant to do that before between one of these paloozas, but I keep going into another one and keep forgetting to check. But yeah, my thoughts on the Imp of Love this weekend is it's definitely not ideal. Though I don't think they did it deliberately. It's just a gigantic oversight from them for the billionth time. I'm pretty sure the forum's raging about it pretty hard. I don't mind too much, though. It's one of the reasons why I always said to keep a reserve of paloozas. This weekend is a perfect instance for that. The reason I said was different than the intention for this weekend. However, if you do have a reserve of paloozas, you can use it this weekend because, yeah, it's not as good to farm for versus. You can still farm for versus this weekend, especially if you're just running Phoenicia team or something. Like, Phoenicia and Rowan builds aren't even slowed at all. It's just super ultra quick team is, the Ironhawk ones. But if you're running just paloozas, there's actually no slowdown to palooza because it don't spawn here. So you could just use your reserve of paloozas. And we definitely have enough reserve to literally just only run palooza. We don't actually have to farm versus at all. I just wanted to get 1 verse 2 at the beginning of the stream like we did. But this entire weekend we're pretty much only running verse 2. I mean, verse 2. I mean, paloozas, I mean. Which are dictated by how many verse 2s we have. Or at least for me, anyways. Yeah, I hate being around people. Like, I don't mind the streams as much because it's like a disconnect that I don't mind at all. So even if we have like anywhere from like 10, 20, 30, 100, 200. Actually, what's the biggest stream we've ever had? It was like 200 something. But like those instances, like, I don't mind at all. However, I don't know, I just, if there's like 3 people in a room, I'll go like insane. If they all try chatting to me at once. There's something like a stream with like dozens upon dozens of people watching me, it's like, oh, that's fine. Just a bit of a different kind of circumstance. I find it very confusing how to talk to like 3 or 4 people in a group at once though. Like, one-on-one I can normally handle. But when you start adding more to that situation, it's like my brain doesn't know how to function correctly. Hello, Shankus. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Scorpios do like to be right all the time. That is funny. I think about a lot of things analytically, where there almost only is like one right answer, or that there's a way to derive the answer from something. That's why I always liked math and science a lot, because there's always like a method to get to the destination of what you were looking for. Like there's always a strategy behind it. And like definitive right and wrong answers that are not subject to opinion. How have I been doing? Pretty good. Emotionally a bit weird recently though. For no real reason. Also, I had like a really weird dream last night. One I don't even want to try explaining, because it is way too gruesome. But even before that, I've just been kind of meh lately. I don't know. Still been enjoying things though. It's mostly the construction stuff. I can't wait till they're done. It's just been throwing off this entire year from me so far. Like, since I've gotten back. I believe they're going to be done before the end of this month, though, luckily. The only problem is it's still a couple more weeks. Your serial killer side is trying to get out? No. It was very disturbing in a different way. Maybe still emotionally scarred from not getting the Anu. That's funny. That is kind of funny, though no. But very funny. They're in my personal space. No, technically they've actually never been in my room. They've just been working everywhere around it. Also, I find it funny, this room is like surprisingly soundproof, but because they're working like on the foundation of the house itself, like next to it, like I can hear absolutely everything they do. Which is why we can't really record during the days most days. I don't believe they're working this weekend though. They mostly just do the weekdays. Do you have fast explore teams for level 30 to 50? What do you mean by 30 to 50? You mean like super early game? Because you normally build into Rowan, the free epic you get from Forest of Thorns. I'm trying to think of what you mean by level 30 to 50. If you mean super early on in the game, complete out Forest of Thorns questline if you haven't already. And build an entire team around that with as many mana accumulators as you can. And then just simply cast for Wayne and you win. Normally you want to do it like Leprechaun and stuff like that. Oh, you mean hero level 30 to 50? I still don't know what you mean by that then. Rowan is still also the answer for that. Rowan build can farm class XP for any class in the entire game, and the overall composition does not require you to have any specific hero class nor weapon set. So you can get farming on any hero in the entire game through Rowan build. Which the ideal way to build Rowan is any weapon that doesn't block Rowan with any hero class that you're trying to farm, followed by Rowan, Mirage Queen, and Leprechaun in that order. Well, technically Mirage Queen and Leprechaun could be switched if they really wanted to, but as long as the weapon is not blocking Rowan and the Rowan is behind the weapon, you should be good to go. Because then you don't block anything that way. Or at least nothing important anyways. And then you just cast Leprechaun, Rowan gets full mana, then you cast Rowan and you win. You just rinse and repeat. It's a bit slower than what we're doing now, but it is the cheapest possible team that can not only farm all these Vault stuff, as well as farm Paloozas without having to worry about the Imp of Love, but it also farms Class XP. And is also the most viable team of any of the farming methods to farm Class XP, because Phoenicia build can't do it. Phoenicia build needs Red Storm, so you can only do it with hero classes that you already have a Firestorm activated for, which only makes up like a fourth of all hero classes or so, maybe even less than a fourth. Because any hero class that doesn't have Firestorm cannot be used with Phoenicia build, whereas Rowan build can run with literally any hero class in the entire game. But I'll be covering a video on it. I meant to do it today, I just got caught up in a couple things. And then the construction people were doing their thing. I'll be doing it hopefully before tomorrow's stream then. That's just 2 videos I wanted to cover, because I wanted to cover one on the Pokemon game as well. I need to cover some videos so our streams actually get more eyes on it when we end up doing them. And also because there's quite a few guides that aren't covered for it yet. And I always liked covering guides in games that haven't been covered yet. That's kind of how this channel got started. Because gosh, the Gems of War have a billion different guides that could be done for things that weren't explained within the game itself or by other content creators. Like at the time, it was like a infinite number of options. Because Gems of War, that is one thing Gems of War is pretty bad at doing. If you only go by like the in-game indication of everything, it is really bad at explaining everything. The game itself. This will be the last battle. Well, not the last battle, but you know, the last battle of this set. Oh, I did not mean to win it yet, though. No, lag. Don't show me the victory screen yet. Oh, no, I think we made it in time. That was fine. Good, we didn't get gypped some loot. Good, we got the full amount of glory. Okay. I think lag might have saved us there. What I thought was the glory gnome wouldn't die to that, and then I was going to go hold. But it actually did die. Because it actually has such low durability that even at Mythic, it still dies in one shot. Whoops. Whoops. Well, luckily, lag might have actually saved us there for once. Hey, 20 gems. Nice. What's in our mail? Just a bunch of things. So speaking of which, you know what else is going to be in our mail? Let's go hand out a code. Also, guys, still haven't gotten more codes from Kafka, so we only have enough till next Monday. Hopefully, she'll send them soon. Because I only have 3 codes left after this. That'll be for Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, because we are going to be doing that a bit earlier, because the Super Bowl will be that day. And then Monday night, and then we're out of codes. So hopefully we'll have it by Tuesday, because, or ideally by Monday night. Otherwise, we're going to be out of them. It's not too big a deal for kind of like completely out for a little while. But hopefully she'll get around to it soon. I'll go re-spam her everywhere I could possibly think tomorrow. I should probably wait till Sunday. Oh, maybe do both days. The preemptive message and then the other ones. But anyways, guys, here is the code, and then we'll go throw down another Palooza. Oh, why is it not posting? Hold up. What's going on? There it goes. But here's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever game says right over there is what you put in for your invite code. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random numbers and letters, starting with MK. And it gives the same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Only usable on PC mobile version of the game. And definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot and is greatly, greatly appreciated. There you guys go. Enjoy. All right, so let's go to this then. Let's go do another Palooza. We'll keep running them. Probably run a few more. Not sure the exact total we'll do this stream, but I want to get a bit more farming in. This do feel still slightly towards the tired side though. But gotta get some grind on the Palooza. It's a vault weekend after all. Like, if you just efficiently grinded just during Vault weekends, you wouldn't even need to worry about, like, any other loot in this game. Like, all you have to do is just power farm Vault weekends and you're pretty much fine. That's one kind of interesting thing with how Gems of War is currently set up. Like, it does not matter how far you are behind. You could have literally started, like, today. If you just farm every Vault event for a year, you're pretty much caught up to everyone. As long as, like, those 30 so days of the year, you just power farm like crazy, you can catch up in a single year. And people have done that before. Like, get to, like, level 1,300 plus within a year, while having nearly every mythic. It takes being available for almost every Vault weekend for that to occur. But it is possible within a year to basically have a nearly, like, maxed out account. Or, you know, for all intents and purposes. Not, like, literally max, but, you know. Like a good majority of everything unlocked. Also, lag. Can you not do that, please? That was a really big lag spike. Maybe we should restart the game after this next one. Any benefit in opening Vault keys during Vault events? No. I believe there's like some weird, like, pseudo kind of higher Vault key chance kind of thing. I would normally just advise not doing it during Vault events, because any time that you're spending not farming the Vault event itself is time that you could have been getting loot from it. So even if it does have a slightly better rate, it doesn't seem to be high enough to really justify doing it at all. So you should wait till it's not a Vault event. And just spend the time during the Vault event doing the Vault event itself. Either farming for more verses and, you know, the standard gnomes, or doing paloozas. If you don't have the resources to run paloozas. You can simply just farm for verses then. You're only seeing complaint about the frequency of the imp, not its durability on forums. Interesting. The frequency shouldn't be taken away from any loot. People have mentioned that a lot, however, I have seen no data that indicates otherwise, or that it does. Or who knows, maybe it is. But I think it's just people perceiving that it does, more so than actually doing so. Because I personally have not seen anything that would suggest that having a Battle Crasher during a Vault event actually takes away from anything. Because the gnomes have priority over the Battle Crashers. So they're never taking away any loot from the potential amounts of gnomes you'd be getting. It just almost seems like it because they're spamming all over the place. And their frequency is obviously way higher than normal gnomes. But they shouldn't be taking any loot whatsoever away from normal gnome drops. Because whenever you trigger a gnome, it has priority over the Battle Crasher. It's the reason why you never see any during Palooza. Because the 4 Battle Crasher, or the 4 gnomes have priority over the Battle Crasher. So they'll never spawn. And that's the case for the single spawn as well. It has priority over the Battle Crasher. So whenever a normal gnome's going to spawn, it will just have priority. So if both of them are going to do it at once, it will just do the normal gnome instead. So the Battle Crasher essentially never takes away from the gnomes themselves. But yeah, I think the main reason why people think it's taken away is just because they see the frequency of how high the Battle Crasher is. And then they want the gnomes to be that high. Because obviously gnomes are way less frequent than Battle Crashers. But that's always the case, regardless if there's Battle Crashers or not. Also, gosh, why is this being so laggy right now? Is it just me? Or is it just this laggy? Because it seems like even more laggier than the previous one we just did. Maybe I should restart the game. I don't know, maybe I'll do a quick restart. I normally don't during a Palooza. However, it might actually be time-saving, unless the game is just this slow right now. But I think it might be because we've just been running it so many Paloozas. So this might be a bit of a waste of resources. But, something I don't think I've ever actually reset during a Palooza. But that lag is just so lag. That is some very thick lag. It feels weird logging in to see the timer. Also, why does the timer go down when you're not even logged in? I know that's a thing, but it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, that's a lot better. Wait, wow. Why was this so laggy then? Yeah, we need to make sure we reset every few then. Because gosh, was that laggy. I'm not even using a controller. Why is it getting so much accumulated lag? Oh, hello, Bushka. Hello, mister. Welcome, welcome. Are the battle crashers causing an issue with the gnome spawns again? No, they shouldn't be. Not that I'm aware of. Though, in all fairness, we have mostly been just doing paloozas, where they have absolutely no effect on the loot. I was messing with it a little bit earlier to stream. But I didn't really see anything that would indicate otherwise, that it would be getting in the way. Seems pretty normal where they weren't getting in the way. But I didn't really do it for like a extremely long amount of data, so I wouldn't really know for sure. But regardless, it is definitely a much better weekend to be throwing down paloozas, that's for sure. Regardless if it's functioning correctly or not. Well, even more so if it's not. But even if it is functioning correctly, it's just better not to have to deal with them due to their higher durability. Best to bring out that reserve of paloozas if you have them laying around. Great weekend for it. Since it's less efficient to farm for versus this week. Or I should say this weekend. Yeah, that's always been an issue with this game. There's never been a point where playing it a ton will not lag the game. Like, that has always been the case. It's been going for 7 years, and that still has not been fixed. Like, there's been improvements to it here and there. Like, the very first, like, few months when the game was launched, back in 2014 going into 2015. Because they weren't really around from the 2014 to 2015 time. Because they were, you know, they weren't really doing anything because of the holidays. So they weren't back until, like, the first or second week of the new year. There was, like, an accumulated amount of lag across, like, the entire servers and everything. And by like early January, the game was like 3 times slower than it should have been functioning. Like, it was insane how much lag it accumulated from a couple broken things that were in the game. But this game has always been kind of bad at handling a lot of very quick battles back to back. It's been even more of a problem in the past, however, it's still an issue to this day, where the game just doesn't functionally handle it that well. They fix things and then they revert back to code and then they break even more things. Actually, there was one patch that they did like 4 years ago where some, or maybe it was 5 years ago, where some of the console features accidentally got into the PC mobile build of the game. Which is very funny because it broke a lot of things during that time. So we've been getting really lucky on epic Valkeys today. The first hour we were at like 5 epic Valkeys. Which, now that I think about it, that's not like super above average. Because on average, I feel like you're going to get 1 epic vault key pretty much per Palooza. And you can kind of do 4 per hour. It's theoretically slightly less than 4 per hour. Unless you did them all literally exactly perfectly consecutively. But in theory, you do approximately 4 per hour. Which means, realistically, you're getting about 4 epic vault keys per hour on average, give or take a little bit. So 5 actually isn't, like, super ultra high. It's just we got that one double with, like, a single soon after, so it seemed like a lot. Yeah, 5 actually isn't that high, then, now that I think about it. It's above average, but it's not, particularly high. High would be something like 8, 9, 10 within an hour. Now that would be a high amount of epic vault keys. Though 3 within like 5 minutes is extremely high. But that was just like an outlier 5 minutes. With a double in a single battle. You wonder if you can forge multiple Paloozas at once and they can queue up? Yes, they can. I do not advise using them that way, but you can queue up as many of you as you want. Actually, I think it might be capped at like 3 hours or 5 hours or something. I believe it does have some kind of cap. But yes, you can do that. I just personally don't. You can maximize the value from them doing them at 1 at a time. Because every 15 minutes you can get full loot for the final battle that you do. So it is technically overall more loot if you just do them 1 at a time. But yeah, you can queue up multiple. I believe there is some kind of cap to it. But it's such a high cap that realistically you're never going to queue up that many at once. I think it's like a 3 hour or 5 hour cap or something. But if you wanted to queue it up to like 30 minutes or an hour or something, you can. Obviously it costs you one full Palooza set per 15 minutes. So you would need 4 of all 4 verses to do an hour. But if you have the resources, yeah, you can queue it up that way. I do not advise doing it that way, though, but you can. You functionally can, even though you probably shouldn't. They're best used 1 at a time. Unless you just really wanted to do it for like half an hour to an hour and not have to worry about keep resetting it. But you get the most amount of loot if you do them 1 at a time. Due to the extra loot burst off the final battle once every 15 minutes. It's not a huge deal, but if you really care about like getting a lot of curse runes and stuff, it can be worth it. Ideally, what I want to try using it for, though I've kind of just been doing it for whatever the final battle is, but ideally what you kind of want to use it for is curse gnomes or glory gnomes. These glory gnomes going to average about 500 glory each, which is a pretty sizable amount of glory. So that's why we have the timer, by the way, as well. It's mostly to determine when the final marker is for the battle. Also, was this the one that was off by 30 seconds? I feel like it was. I can't remember if it was this set or a different set. I'm pretty sure this set was off by 30 seconds, which means the end is in like 20 seconds. But maybe I was thinking of a different set that we already went by. I'll find out. Just in case, let me wait like just a few seconds here. Yeah, that should be long enough. Oh yeah, it was a different set. For sure. Alright, so we can get to this battle and then we'll hold the next one. Let's hope this has good loot. Come on, let's see our first ever double curse gnome. With like 2 glory gnomes. Alright, so this one will hold. Souls, not ideal. Mech Gnome's really bad. This one's not the greatest, but they're probably going to be used soon. Soul Gnome's kind of iffy. It's better than some of them. Nothing else. We got 6,000 souls, so there we go. Nice bit of soul bursts. Okay, because the game kind of was laggy earlier, let me keep restarting it between every Palooza just in case. We kind of just reset it earlier, but after that much lag that we were getting, I do want to kind of just full reset it. Just out of safety's sake of not getting lag screens. Because the 30 seconds we take now will definitely save our sanity over the next 15 minutes. Every time we do that. Also, we didn't need more copies of this pet, right? I don't believe we did. Pretty sure we didn't. Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to check real quick. What on earth has the forum been saying about the new gnome, or the, you know, the new verse? No, or not the new verse. You know what I mean. The Battle Crasher. Which mythic is worth having as an extra copy of? Oh yeah, that would be a fun video to do on. A whole video on every single mythic worth having more than one copy of. Let's see. I don't see any thread on it, surprisingly. There's a poll on something else as well. How relieved are you that Fire Rift is the last delve? Someone really doesn't like delve. Gosh. I don't know, I really enjoyed the final delve. I wish we'd have more, and luckily we will, because we will be getting more delves at some point. Obviously when we get a new faction. Also, gosh, I exchanged out some lag for, my thing is literally frozen. What? That makes no sense. Okay, let me restart the game again. I was looking at the thing, and then I come back, and then, like, a few minutes later, and now it's frozen. What did I do? I broke it even further. How does that even happen? How does that even happen? Anyways, where were we? Let's go do a Palooza. Though the game was, like, I reset the thing so it wouldn't have any lag, and it literally, like, just completely got stuck. I think that might be an issue with my recording software kind of messing with the game sometimes, though. Anyways, where were we? Also, apparently my stream was having an issue there, too. So it might just been my connection, maybe? That's weird. Is the stream working right now? I think it is. There's like a weird error right now. It seems to be functioning from what I could tell, though. That's weird. Anyways. So it does have a little bit of a delay, like by 15 seconds. But yeah, it's working. Anyways, where are we? Let's go do a Palooza. That was a weird sequence of events. Anyways, where were we? Where were we? Yeah, factions are one of the things I actually kind of enjoyed quite a bit from Gems of War. I do wish the synergies within factions were a bit better. Like, after All-Seeing Eye and Hall of Guardians, it seemed like, oh, these synergies are going to be pretty good. Especially All-Seeing Eyes. All-Seeing Eyes still, to this day, has one of the overall best pure faction synergy teams of any faction in the game. It's not a particularly good one, like, compared to, like, Stone Song Aerie. It's like, oh, these troops are just so good. You can just run these instead. Or, you know, a couple of them in there. Like, that's another one that kind of had some pretty decent synergy. But if there was, like, a go-to one to, like, point at, it's definitely the one for All-Seeing Eye. I really wish a lot more of them would have been like that. But there's so few. Like, All-Seeing Eye and Stone Song Aerie, definitely the first ones that come to mind. But very few of them feel like they're proper synergy within each other. The main thing I like about All-Seeing Eye as well, it's pretty much one of the only few factions where it's the most viable team is to run one of everything. Which I kind of assumed would be the case for almost every faction, if not every faction. But there's just so many where the legend is just like so much more powerful or something. Where you double up on like the tank or the legends normally. where you just spam it like crazy with like a few other things, but never using all of them. Very few of them are like also and I, where the most viable team is just run one of everything. Most of them just have something that's so much stronger than the other stuff that you just have to run that with like maybe a mana generator. It's normally the tank or the legend that's normally the thing that's too broken for every faction. The tank, because it's so good at not dying, that sometimes having multiple of it so you can never die is the most viable method. And the legend, because, well, obviously it's a legend, it has a unique trait and everything. And sometimes its circumstances is so strong and it doesn't even need the other options. Where you just run like 3 of it with a mana accumulator, or just 4 of it. Or 3 of it with the tank. Because even the most recent faction, or last faction technically, like that pure faction was literally just 4 of the legends. Like it was a very diverse team of just spam low legends, which is kind of unfortunate. That reminds me, I never really messed with that troop that much. We got that like, what, a week ago? Still haven't messed with it yet. I guess it has Brown Red Storm, which has some implications that can be useful. Was that a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Honestly, I have no sense of time anymore. It's one or the other. It is one or the other. So I think this might be the last Palooza we do this stream. As much as I kind of want to keep going. But the game plan is we'll be doing it again tomorrow night. And I hope to get a decently chunky one. A decently sizable stream in for Sunday as well during the day. Because I think the game plan for that day is going to be to kind of get at least like a couple hour stream in around noon or so. So we can get a bunch of Palooza grind then. Because I'm not going to be doing a normal 8 PM Eastern Standard Time stream on Sunday due to Super Bowl. So we're going to kind of do it midday. And then go from there. Because I want to be done with that by 3 or 4 if we can. Because this gets time to prep all the food and everything. And also to rest the eyes a bit. From staring at one screen to staring at a different screen. Nice to just rest them in between. Because that's what I pretty much do like right after every single stream I ever do. So I normally just like lay down for a moment just to rest the eyes. Or normally in the case of nightly streams, I normally just grab a bite to eat. Even if I ate before the stream. Normally if I'm eating before the stream, it's like a salad or something though. Sometimes I'm like very slow at eating it though. There are days I'm just like very glazily eat stuff. Actually, I had a taco salad earlier. Not the normal kind of salad I normally have. I tried Taco Bell's one the other day as well. It was okay. I prefer their actual tacos though compared to their taco salad. Like it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't go like out of my way for it. Like it's edible if I needed food. That's not something I would like seek out compared to like some of their taco options. Oh, I never preview the Super Bowl ads beforehand. I always like to be surprised by what they are. I do check the Super Bowl ads after the fact, but I don't like to spoil myself on what they are beforehand. Just in case there's a really good one, I like to be surprised in the moment for it. Though I feel like the quality of them has been pretty bad lately. Honestly, I think like 2018 was the last time I recall Super Bowl ads being good. Maybe it wasn't further back than that, though 2018 sticks out for whatever reason. I can't remember exactly what the ads were, but something about that date. Seems like it was the last one that was viable. Because the last few years have been pretty underwhelming for Super Bowl ads. Their quality has definitely been in quite a decline. Or who knows, maybe my standards have just gotten higher for them. Though, I don't know, they seemed a lot worse. Oh yeah, who's doing halftime this time? It was okay last year. Not the best halftime show, but it was pretty decent. They aren't funny anymore. I don't know, were that many really that funny to begin with? Some of the animated ones used to be like really, really good. Now I feel like a lot of them have just gone like so much further down on budget, which is kind of weird because they have to pay so much money to even get the ad up in the first place. That you think they would have like almost infinite budget for most of the things. Oh no, I always like watching the Super Bowl in its entirety, regardless of its quality on a given year. Something I've always kind of done. Well, maybe not always, but you know. It's nice to kind of make a day of it. It's almost like an American holiday. Or even people who don't like sports can still gather for something sport related. The halftime show will be good this year. Who's playing? Do we even know? That I don't mind knowing in advance. Wait, Snoop Dogg? Oh, that's interesting. Has Snoop Dogg even done anything new recently? Yeah, I don't mind Snoop. Wouldn't say he's my absolute favorite rapper, but he's done some decent stuff. Dr. Dre will be performing too. I don't know exactly who that is. The name sounds exceedingly familiar and I have heard of it before. I can't think of a single one of their works though. For Dr. Dre, that is. Oh, Eminem. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure who that last one is. Mary J. Blige? Who is that? I know every single one of those people except that one. Well, technically I don't know Dr. Dre that much. Like, the name sounds very familiar. I can't think of a single one of their works, though. Snoop Dogg and Eminem I know, though. Although I feel like every single person on that list has not been relevant for a while. Oh, he was the one who did the Beats headphone. Aren't they trash? I could have sworn seen like a video on someone who like professionally well, not professionally, but you know, has like a YouTube channel on like some audio related devices. And they were kind of like saying like, oh, this isn't an ad or anything, I'm just gonna give my honest opinion. And it's like, yeah, these are just like complete trash. And it was like one of the Dr. Dre headphone things. I can't remember exactly what product it was, but it was something in the line. I've never been a big headphone person, though. I've tried them like twice, and I never cared for either. I'm not a fan of headphones. What does Mary J. Blige do genre-wise? Because that'd be like, what, 3 rappers with whatever she does? Because that doesn't sound like someone who would be a rapper with that kind of name. It almost sounds like a country music name. She is R&B, interesting. That's a genre I've never gotten as into. Though in all fairness, I don't listen to much music these days. Like, of any genre. Or to any degree. I don't feel like I have since college, oddly enough. Like, after college, I felt like I've never really listened to music anymore. Or if it is all completely instrumental stuff with no lyrics whatsoever. You're excited for the halftime show? 30 extra minutes of gnome farming. Hey, I'll be doing it during the actual game. Probably on my phone. I'll be watching the commercials and playing Vault event during the game. That's the game plan. As I'm shoving down snacks. Which I'm still not sure what I'm doing food-wise for it. I should probably determine that somewhat soon, though. Or likely just ordering something on Sunday, though. Just out of convenience. I just have no clue what we're going to bother ordering yet. I might get something from Domino's. I do find it funny that Domino's, when a fast food tracker thing that I looked at earlier, actually has Domino's as like the most, you know what, I'm actually going to go for one more Palooza. Originally I wasn't going to, but you know what, we're going to get one more in there. But it has Domino's as like the most popular fast food place in South Carolina. And I find that kind of interesting because it kind of makes sense because they're actually like everywhere around here. And relative to the kind of places that are around, their quality actually isn't that bad. Like compared to actual pizza, like it's barely even considered food. But relative to like the average thing around this area, it's not that bad. So it kind of makes sense. Oh, whatever happened to that? I kind of put it on hold for a little while. Like after, like during the holidays, I kind of put that on hold, and then I just never got back around to it. But we're a couple $100 into that. We still have all the songs laying around for whatever we end up doing with them, if anything. Honestly, I found the process to be really fun, though. It's actually kind of a lot of fun to commission music. from various artists. It's interesting to see what people do with a certain concept. But I've still been looking into game development. It's been kind of preoccupied a little bit this year. But I do plan on still getting around to it. Very slowly. Though like a lot of solo endeavors like that, it kind of just keeps getting delayed. I still find it funny that one game Words Can Kill that's being solo developed by some developer. It's gotten delayed like 3 times now. It was supposed to be January, then it was February, then it was March. It still says March, so I have a feeling it's not coming out in March. Just a hunch. No, it might. Who knows? Whenever it does, I will play it on the channel. It's basically, Slay the Spire, kind of, if your deck was Scrabble pieces. It's like basically like general RPG kind of vibes in a shape of a roguelike, but your deck is Scrabble pieces. Which overall is a pretty fun premise. Not sure how fleshed out it's going to be, given that's only a solo developer working on everything, but I don't know, I played the demo, it was pretty fun. Streamed it and had a decent amount of time. So we'll see what the full game is like. Hopefully it's like $10 or less. I'm not even sure what its price tag is. Whatever it is, I'll get it though. I don't feel like I could really recommend it that much if it's like above 10 though. It definitely feels like a $10 or less game. Also, if anyone still has any questions that you want me to go over, do let me know. Because after this Palooza, we probably will be calling it a wrap. And not the musical wrap, the finishing of the stream wrap. How far Ascension did I get? I finished the game. I did Ascension 20 with all 4 characters. I did literally everything you could possibly do. We did so in, we finished streaming it too and did all that. Not sure if we'd ever play it again. But, we've done literally everything. It took a little over 200 hours. But yeah, Ascension 20, all 4 characters. I didn't do any of the, DLC or anything. And by DLC, I mean, you know, the workshop mods. Because it doesn't actually have any proper DLC. I've heard that they're working on a sequel. Or maybe not a sequel, but they're working on some kind of game. I assume will be kind of like Slay the Spire, but different. Like, it will probably still be a roguelike. You deck builder, most likely. But different than how Slay the Spire was, obviously. Curious as to what it will be. Also, I'm still kind of surprised, because the few game concepts I kind of have that I want to do, and kind of work up towards as far as building a game that could even function like that. I haven't really seen anyone else really do it. Even Pokemon's combat system that is somewhat similar to how I thought it would be done. They do it quite a bit differently. That is not quite the same. Like, even close. Like, Pokemon's system that they have in the most recent games, like an overly simplified version of it. Like, very overly simplified. Even to other games similar in the genre of it. Which makes sense, it is Pokemon after all. It's still a nice system. But gosh, is it overly simplified. You can't get past Ascension 5. I would say the main point of advice in Slay the Spire I would give is don't be afraid to take elites. Like, it is so important to take as many elites as you possibly can early on. Not to the point that you die out, but, like, you need to try aiming for, like, 2 elites per floor normally. You also normally want a campfire before the first elite so you can get an upgrade on something relevant so you can have momentum going into it. The only thing I kind of hate about Slay the Spire at times, though, is I feel like you die to luck sometimes. Or it's like completely out of your control. Where you would have made decisions. Oh, we got an epic Volky there. Where you would have made decisions like differently earlier if you would have known what was happening like after the fact. But once you get a build going, you kind of just auto win at that point. The problem is getting to the point where you have a proper build going sometimes. Oh yeah, the auto-aiming feature in Pokemon Unite definitely makes my complete lack of aiming look decent. That was not what I was referring to. I was referring to more so the battle system. But yeah, even its like shooter system is very overly simplified. Which is nice, because I'm not a fan of the genre. Though the way that it's implemented in new Pokemon games, fine. Like, it doesn't, like, overly use it. But after seeing stuff for Splatoon 3, I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother doing Splatoon 3. Just doesn't really seem like the genre I would enjoy as much. Actually, what we might be doing, though, I still need to look into it. 1 week from today, or not from today, but I think it's like 9 days from now or so. There's like a play test for the new Wii Sports, and by Wii Sports I mean Switch Sports. And I think it has like bowling and like 2 others. I definitely need to play that for nostalgia's sake. I still need to look into how on earth you get into the play test. I didn't really bother looking into it. I assume you could just get in, given that's Nintendo. They normally have like pretty wide open things for that. Still should probably check just in case. That's such an iconic Nintendo thing, though. The whole Wii Sports thing. They have kind of done like some sequels to some degree, but it's like the first like true sequel to Wii Sports. I'm sure it'll have the same like nostalgia hit as like the other one though. Because the other one was like the original standard. Even though there was technically some games that have done it before. It was just such a staple of the time. The only problem is green screen with movement. With where it's currently set up, I don't have that much room to move. Though I might have like just barely enough room. But yeah, with the Slay the Spire thing mentioned earlier, one thing I've noticed is I tend to like overly like 100% every game I ever touch. It's why we generally don't do like too many, but we tend to like do each one very thoroughly. Because if I try to think of like some games we played in the last few years, like that was one big one we did last year, and within like 200 hours we did like literally everything you could possibly do to the max possible degree. Then we had things like that one, oh gosh, what was that one that we did? We only did it a few times, but Super Auto Pets. Within 130 hours, we 100%ed that one, technically 200%ed. It's also something that barely anyone has done. I think there might only be a few dozen people who've even done it, or a couple hundred, because there's one specific achievement that is exceedingly luck-based that we actually got first try. that I am pretty sure only a few dozen people have ever even bothered doing yet. And we were one of them. So that one we have like truly 100% completed. And in the Pokemon game and just a few others, I don't know. I just always like doing each one very thoroughly whenever I get around to something. That's why I don't really play like too big of a variety of games. Because anything I do play, I just like playing so thoroughly through. Also, we are going to be doing shiny decks for the most recent Pokemon game. That might take a while, though. Like, it's going to be kind of like Gems of War Mythic accumulation. Like, yeah, the first, like, 80% or so, not too bad. That last 20%, gonna be a nightmare. There's actually 10 particular shinies in that game that are, like, near impossible to get as well that are going to be... I'm not even sure if I'm going to bother trying. They're all 9 of the starters, plus Spiritomb. I actually saw someone who's, like, doing a stream trying to get Spiritomb. I think they're, like, 40 hours in. And they've only rolled, like, 5% of the enough you even need to be at, like, statistical average. Like, I think it legitimately takes over 1,000 hours with average luck. Which means I'm probably not going for it, realistically. That one I'm probably not doing. Probably. Because, gosh, that's gonna be insane. I wouldn't, like, even dare attempt it. Not shiny deck, shiny decks. As in the Pokédex. As in getting literally every Pokemon in the game in shiny. Or at least a lot of them. I don't think we're gonna do literally all of them. But there's 240 of them. Of which 220 something or 230 something can be shiny. Because none of the legends can in that game. They're all shiny locked. Except for Spiritomb, which is obtained from a very absurd method. Yeah, some people have done it for past games. I'm not sure if anyone has actually gotten it for every single Pokemon in the entire franchise. I assume someone has by now. That's definitely something I would never do. But for one particular game that only has like 200 something, it's not as bad. But trying to do it for all 900 something, that'd be beyond my scope of wanting to do. Only reason I even got into it too, I haven't been into shiny hunting in any Pokemon game. But the most recent one is like actually fun. I'm really curious to see if every Pokemon game will now be more like Pokemon Legends Arceus. Because if Generation 9 of Pokemon is just like the standard Pokemon and isn't like even remotely like Pokemon Legends Arceus, like I will probably find it exceedingly boring. Like if it's basically like Sword and Shield all over again, like I'll probably play it, complete it, and then like never touch the game again. Or something like Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like not only did I complete the game, not only did I do the post-game, not only did I do like the post game, but we're doing like literally everything for this possible completion. Including shiny hunting, literally everything. Yeah, Spiritomb can be shiny in Pokemon Legends Arceus. It has a spawn rate of like 1% in an area that has 3 spawns. Only at night. Which means you'd have to check it, and the shiny chance at max rate is 1 in 500 something. Which means you would have to check it approximately... Let's see, for every roll you would have to do it about 100-ish times? No, maybe like 33 times. I can't remember how many times you could check it per hour. Because I haven't actually checked the rates overall. But yeah, I think you'd have to check it about 33 times per appearance. You would need 528 appearances, I believe it is. So what is it? 528 times 33. Math. Like the number that I'm about to say is like absurd amount of hours. 528 times 33. So the number I just did then is the number of attempts to find one, plus how many attempts you need. Which means I need to then figure out... I would need to divide this number by how many you could do per hour. I believe you could do about 20 checks per hour between loading screens and everything. So divide that by 20. Maybe I'll be generous. Let's say you could do 30 per hour. So divide that by 30. It would take you 580 hours. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But yeah, that might not be exact. But it would take you approximately 500 plus hours to find Spirit Tomb Shiny in the most recent Pokemon game. It is one of only 10 shinies that has that absurd of a number. There are a few others that have even worse number than that. But, yeah, those 10 we're definitely not touching. Maybe we get ultra lucky after a few hours, but we're definitely not spending 500 something hours doing that. That would be insane. There will be some amount of people that will. We will not be some of that amount of people. But anyways, like, you'd have to be like a really hardcore Pokemon fan to bother going for that. Which there will be some people who will. Anyways, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night, same time as always. 2 hours prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we are every single night. However, I won't be on Sunday night, as despite me just saying that, mostly because of Super Bowl. We will be on around noon on Sunday. So basically, our plan for this weekend is we'll have the guide video up soonish for just normal Vault weekend and for something else I kind of wanted to do. Aside from that, we should have a Pokemon stream tomorrow. Exact time, not sure. Gonna probably start around 10, maybe noonish. Or it just depends how the morning cycle goes. As far as waking up and everything. But I hope to start closer to 10, but it might be closer to noon, we'll see. But we'll be doing a Pokemon stream, shiny hunting stream during the day. I'll have our normal Gems of War stream tomorrow night. Go for a couple hours. And then on Sunday, midday, we'll have another Gems of War stream for Vault events. And we'll go from there. And see how it ends up going. Hopefully get a nice, decent amount of loot. And then, of course, Super Bowl. Though, of course, we won't be streaming that, obviously. Unless we want this channel taken down. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys later. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Best of luck with the Vault event. Happy Valentine's Day soon, too, as well. That's on, what, this Monday, right? So, well, I guess I'll kind of be mentioning on that Monday video then. But, yeah, it is Monday, right? I forget how time works these days. I'm pretty sure that's a Monday. Yep, that is indeed a Monday. So, yeah, we'll be able to say that in the video and everything. But anyways, you're another normal weekly video. That keeps not being on Monday. This week, we definitely need to make sure it is, though. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Best of luck with everything. Catch you guys soon. And thanks so much for stopping by. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.